what's going on, guys? How you guys doing? Hopefully you guys having a great day. Today I'm under the weather. I've been under the weather for the last couple of days, but I wanted to get out this video for Ines Raya. She is the newest descendant that has dropped on the season 2 patch 2, and she is really fun. So today's video we're going to be talking about her base kit, and we're going to also be going over her 2 Transcendent mods. We will also be going with the mod sets that I am using currently right now. Now, we were farming it for the last 10 hours, Ines, and we were able to get a little better understanding about her and her kit. So I want to do that in this video. So let's get right into it.
Ines Raya, Hound Unit, commencing operations.
What I think I find very interesting about Ines Raya is I think she's up there now with the bunnies and the Freynas in the group. She's really fast when you have her fourth ability out there. You can hit amazing range with her 30 meters if you scale her range really high. Now, you do have to put a little bit of groundwork down to get her damage to be spreading that much, but it can spread really far. Now, again, Contagion is just a mind of its own to be able to spread, hit one button, and then it spreads to other people. Bunny, you just activate one ability, and then you just run, and then you have damage being done. But I think she might be better than Bunny because Bunny will be on one side of the map, while this one can still do damage on both sides of the map if you lay her for just right. So I think personally, I think she's up there with the bunnies and Freynas. And I know I've seen a lot of people, unfortunately, when I was queuing up, just straight up leave because they noticed that I'm literally just killing everything. Now, I started to do a lot of dungeons by myself solo because I know that can be frustrating for a lot of people. Some people don't like it, that they get in there, they see a Freyna, they see a bunny, and then they just walk away because they're not going to do anything XP wise. Now, you're going to get XP no matter what, but people like to enjoy their game and actually play it, and they might not want to queue it by themselves. So when it comes to that, you're going to see that happen a lot. So I ended up, after farming a little bit, getting her strong enough, I started doing my own solo plays, and I was able to notice how fast you're able to melt locations. Like I said, compared to Bunny and Freyna, she's up there as well when it comes to how quick she can do damage. She's really fast. I love that they gave her movement speed. That 50% movement speed when she activates her 4 is really good. And I do enjoy playing Ines. All right, now before we go over her abilities, we have to understand what works off of MP and what does not work off MP. So her first and second skill works off of MP, while the 3 and 4 works off of her plasma bar underneath. Now, unfortunately, there's no great way to increase that unique bar. There is a mod called, I think, Potent Collector, something in those lines, that you get custom resources, but it's not the greatest for a max of maybe 10%. You could run that if you want to, but there's better mods to be putting out there instead. But you can activate your 1 ability and it uses some MP. You can also activate your 2nd ability, also uses MP. But if you notice, as I activate my 3, it uses actually the plasma bar. And then my 4th ability is using the plasma bar as well. Okay? So you just have to understand that her 1 and 2 are going to be her builders. So if we were to restart this over. Oh. If we were to restart this over, you would see you would have to build up your abilities by using your 1 and 2 to spam out and get enough energy from your plasma to be able to do and use your 3 and 4. So you're going to want to spam your 2 and 1. Now, if they already have conductor on them, there is no additional plasma collection you're going to get. So this is going to want a lot of ads nearby so you're able to scale. Now, what does actually increase is when conductor is done and dark current goes off, you will be able to reapply as well. As you see right there. What we're going to go with first is her base kit, and we're going to first start off with her passive. Because I feel like once you understand her passive, you kind of understand where the other powers lie. All right, her passive is called Plasma Oscillation. Now, there's a lot to go in here, so what we're going to kind of do is kind of break it down. So her passive, what it is doing is it gives you a critical hit rate modifier. Now it does go based off your max MP, so we are going to be adding certain things to increase our max MP to give you a really high critical hit rate. You could get easily 100% critical hit rates, and if you are going to go in that direction, what you can be doing is adding some critical damage mods to be able to increase that damage, because you're going to be nearly 100% give or take, depending on how you can scale your MP. But also on top of that, when you activate a skill, any of the skills from 1 to 4, you will add a debuff to the enemies. Now the debuff is called Conductor. All right, we're going to see now that any ability allows you to activate Conductor. Now when you have Conductor, you're going to see that I'm going to use my first ability just to show as an example. When I use my ability, you're going to see a red conductor pop up, and then there's a dark conductor right next to it. It's dark current. That's the damage you're doing at that moment. And when conductor expires, right when it expires, an explosive damage will occur, and then dark current will be doing damage. And it's normally around 1 or 2 ticks, that's it. And then it reapplies conductor as well. Now it says there's a great chance for it to happen. I've seen it happen every single time. But just to show you guys, we're going to activate our first ability. You're going to see that there's 2 conductors, and the dark current is done, and right now the conductor is on. Now as it starts to slowly expire, while the conductor is still on and has a debuff, any ability I do will do more damage because I have conductor on. Now as this gets ready to expire, you're going to see like a quick burst damage, and that is dark current reapplying conductor to the enemy. Boom. Now, if you were to do this with more targets nearby, they will also be affected with it as well. And if you had other enemies nearby and the conductor time frame ends, they will also get hit with dark current. And with that dark current, you could scale off of a few things, which we're going to show you in a few seconds. You could scale off a little damage off of that a little bit, but you will be able to hit 3 extra additional targets. Now here you have dark current, which goes based off your max MP, your damage multiplier, and also a balance between a mid damage rate and max damage rate, somewhere in between there. Now what's also really good is, now when it comes to her critical hit rate, you can actually restore some of your MP if you land critical hit rates. Now there is a chance for it to occur, and when it does occur, you do get 5%. Now you cannot adjust this and modify this at all. Even with a, for instance, energy collector that has MP recovery, even with that on, it will not allow you to adjust your MP recovery. So this is going to be flat rate. You're going to be able to recover some MP. Now, if you are having issues with some MP, you could add MP collector if you wanted to, just to give you a bit easier to activate your abilities. And we're going to be talking about her abilities, what uses skills and what doesn't use skill. But just to let you know, you cannot scale off of the MP with mods. Now what's really nice is I'm going to activate my first ability. Now you're going to see about 5 or 6 targets going to be hit with this ability, the first ability, and you're going to see that if you keep activating the ability, not only are you able to spread the ability to targets that are not going to be hit by it, but on top of that, you're going to be able to keep igniting them for quite a bit of time. So let's watch that.
Keep trying.
All right, so we have over here 6 targets right now currently hit with it. Now, as we fast forward this, you're going to be able to see that this is going to spread to these 2 targets. All right, now as you were able to see, they all were able to get hit with now conductor, and on top of that, they were able to also be able to explode and continue to do more damage as well, as they all kept exploding and bouncing off of each other. Now let's go over her first ability. All right, her first ability is called Chain Lightning. You pretty much shoot lightning forward and it bounces off multiple times. Now you can increase this to be 7 times that it bounces off targets, and you do around 207%. Now this is the first ability, so this is an ability that you want to spam as much as possible to lay the groundwork. With that being said, you're probably going to want to have a good amount of cooldown just to make it a little bit faster for you to spam out your first ability, since it doesn't cost as much as the other abilities, but it also allows you to hit multiple targets. And if you are trying to cover a big area, you might need more cooldown to be able to hit if it's as in this location, but in the same area, but further away, there is another location that you need to add their skill 1 as well. Now, when you activate any ability, including the first ability, you get Conductor. The Conductor is a debuff that will be applied onto them, and when the timer is finished, it then reapplies the Conductor and does a little damage to the enemy as well. Your normal damage is around 207%, and you would do additional 51.9% damage as well. Now let's go over her second ability. Her second ability is called Lightning Conductor. Now what it pretty much does is it calls down lightning to the target nearby. Now this is very interesting. Her range is 15 meters base, and you can max this out to 30 meters, which is really good, which is what I tend to normally do when I'm using her base kit. And even one of her other Transcendent mods, I try to tend to put a little bit of range inside with her mods, because I want to be able to hit these targets from far, not having to be really close. Even though 15 meters is pretty solid, the fact that you can go up to 30 meters is even better. Now the damage is about 424. Like we talked about, the range is 15 meters. Now this only hits 3 targets, but if you get the cooldown really low, you'll be able to spam this out and hit multiple targets, being able to deal more damage because you already have the Conductor from using the 1 or any other ability. Because you have Conductor, you're going to be able to do additional damage, which the additional damage is 106% times the skill power. Now, for those who are wondering what skill power is, it is based off of right here. This is your skill power to the right. Now, you can get a little bit more if you enhance your reactor to do a little bit more damage, but that is what you're going to be scaling off of. Now, when we go into her 3 is called Discharge. Now, you see the animation, she actually channels up. Now, this is our first channel up character, so in this case, you do have to wait a little bit while she channels up. Now, you could activate the ability right away and just use it. You can actually, if you have a really small bar of plasma, you will use up the resources really quickly and it'll be really quick. But if you have a good amount of bar on your plasma, you'll be able to actually charge it up for longer. And the longer you have it charged, the more damage you'll be able to do. All right, as we see here, we have the Conductor going, and then we're going to activate a 3. Boom. Now, it finished quickly because I didn't have a lot of energy to plasma to give it. Now, if I was to replenish this and give it full, we're going to notice how you can last a lot longer in channeling it, but you also do a lot more damage as well. So we're going to do what we always do. We're going to activate Conductor, have a Conductor on, and then we're going to be able to hold it for longer.
Come on, out of the way.
And when we're using our third ability, you could scale on range on this as well. So if you are scaling range already, when you activate her 3, you'll be able to hit a wider area. But if you hit it without any modifiers, this is how many targets you'll be able to hit it with. You just see that just 3, even the heat got hit by a little bit by it, but only 3 targets really got hit by it, and it's these 3 specifically. All right, now we're going to put skill expansion to give it a little bit more range. So let's just show you what that looks like. So skill expansion is on there right now. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to have with skill expansion on, we're going to see you're going to be able to hit a bigger area because of the range you added. All right, now these 5 targets are hit with Conductor, but even this target did take damage as well. It just does not have a Conductor on it. And same goes for this one as well. So you could get a bigger range. This allows you to be a little bit more range when it comes to her, and be able to hit a little bit more targets as well. And again, if you have Conductor, she would also do more damage to the targets. So in this case, you're doing additional 921% damage with Conductors already on. This is the move you're going to most likely use for like your elites and more. So this one does a lot of damage. So this is what you're going to hit hard with. So this is, you're going to save it. It does eat up a lot of your plasma bar. Same goes for your 4, but your 4 is going to be your main AOE move, but this is going to be your nuker. All right, now when it comes to her 4th ability, now her 4th ability is very unique, and we're going to show you a little bit about it. Just it's better to show you when it's fully expanded, just how they show you in this window. But you can have 2 of these out on the field, and it works amazingly with her range. Now, there is an inner circle and then there's an outer circle. Now, the inner circle is pretty much where it's called Thunder Snare. Inside there, you're going to do a massive amount of damage. It scales off of range as well. So you can put, it goes from 7.5 meters to 14.4 I have mines, but it allows you to go a little bit more. So you can scale that thunder snare, that middle circle, to do a lot more damage, and it will continue to keep doing damage. But then the outer circle, you're going to be able to do current coil damage. Now this again scales up for range. You go from 15 meters to up to 30 meters, and you'll also be able to hit targets that are really far away. Now hitting them with current coils will also give them conductor. It also gives them continuous damage onto it, and then that would also spread out to nearby targets as well, which they can hit up to 3 more targets. And then on top of that, because they are already hit with conductor, because you probably use it for your 1 or 2 to build up your plasma bar anyway, you activate your 4, then they're going to be able to get hit with the additional damage from conductor. Now what's really good about having conductor, your 4th ability, even though it applies conductor, the time that it hits it and reapplies it again would also apply as doing conductive damage, additional damage. So your 4th ability, because it's doing continuous damage over time, you're going to be able to get the extra damage as soon as the first burst gets hit. They get hit with conductor. The second time they get hit from the traveling from one enemy to the other, they would then get additional damage from that as well. Now her additional damage for her conductor is low. It is 16.4, but it's going to be continuous and it will last for a long time. Now this is where I would say having duration, if you are going to be in a specific area for a long period of time, is really good to have. Right now it starts off by 10 seconds, and you can scale this even more. I have mine right now currently at 12.1. If you can scale this for even longer time frame with your different component sets, you'll be able to last the 4th ability out longer and be able to do more damage because it's out there for longer. So that's something you want to keep in mind when you are building specifically for her, how you want to use her kit and what kind of content you are doing. So now let me show you real quick on how her 4th ability. Now I did spread out the targets a little bit just to make it a little bit more easier, and you're going to see when I activate the 4th ability somewhere around here. That is a thunder snare. Anywhere in that inner circle, that is thunder snare. They would keep getting constant damage. But you see these targets over here with the smaller circle, they're getting hit with current coils. Now they're not getting hit as much as that thunder snare is in the middle, but they are taking some damage as well, which again, you are just spreading that conductor out further and further. As you see, they're not taking as much damage as they would be in thunder snare, but you are taking a good amount of damage. So this is really good. If you max out the range, you can hit a good AOE area. What's really good about using this is I started to notice that you can actually do this in mid-air as well. So let's go ahead and replenish her ability. Oh, perfect. You could do this in mid-air.
You can't escape.
Now anyone in that vicinity, even though you're in mid-air, is still taking that damage, which is amazing. So there's a lot of times where I was doing the Haven, and I ended up throwing it up in mid-air, being able to hit multiple targets and not have to land it directly. So if you're not great at landing it, you can put it in the middle of the air and be totally fine as well. So that's really good. The one thing you will be missing out though is there is a impact damage that it does. If you go back to her skill, there is a projectile damage. So if you wanted to hit them with the projectile, you are losing a little bit of damage, but you're just making it a little bit more easier to hit more targets for yourself. So if you hit it in the sky, you still hit those targets. But like I said, the inner circle would be current coils, and the inner circle would be thunder snare, and the outer circle would be current coils. All right, now let's look at her 2 mods real quick. Now let's just show you what it looks like. These are Time of the Hunting Hounds and also Plasma Ball. Now we're going to go ahead and show you what that looks like. All right, now her new mod, Time of the Hunting Hounds, is very unique. It changes her kit almost altogether. She becomes from tech and singular now just all tech. So this makes it easier to figure out what reactors to put on, what mods you want to put on it. Now this is something I currently have that I was using while I was playtesting a few things. Now what you do is, you, like I said, you change her singular to now tech, and it makes it easier. But her first ability and her third ability do change up a little bit. Her first ability doesn't hit as many targets, but it makes it easier to spread your conductor if there is a wide range. So let's go ahead and show that to you real quick. So if we go ahead and restart this, let's go ahead and show that real quick. Now you only have a few targets when you do this,
This is going to stay.
but it didn't hit more targets. But what makes it easier is you can spam this.
There's no getting
So if
away.
you are just going through the area where there's a lot of ads, you can spam your 1 just to make it easier, and then call lightning on your second ability to do a little bit more damage to it. So it makes it a little bit quicker to gain your other abilities for your plasma bar to go up faster. Me personally, the way I see it, when it comes to a big area, being able to spam this when no one has conductor, and then just go to the next location or the area that next adds, and then activate it again and again and again, just makes it so much easier than focusing on a lot of cooldown on the one ability of her base kit. Now, this ability isn't as fast damaging as the other abilities. Her base kit had a 10,000 movement speed. This is 5,000, so it's a little bit slower, but you're able to do it more often because you can stack it up to 3 times. So it just makes it so much easier to have that plasma bar build up if you are doing like a dungeon, an example. Now, nothing changed for 2, but her third ability now, not only does it change the damage, it also changed what she actually does, her movement and what she does. Here is called Snare Acrobatics. You get into a track and field stance. Now, with this one is very interesting. You kind of see like a little holographic image of yourself, and you can kind of see where you're going to go. Here you do a few different damage. You got pierce damage, you got burst damage, and then you have your normal conductor damage, your dark conductor damage. So there's a few damages you are doing specifically with its third ability. It is really interesting. Like I said, you do a lot more damage when it comes to this. If you're really good at lining up your target just right, you can actually do more damage than you are doing on your base kit. It's also easier to scale off of your range and hit more targets this way as well. But let's go ahead and show you what it is when you try to hold your third ability. All right, now, just to show you real quick, when I hold my third ability, you're going to see a hologram of it. That is where you will be going. Now, what's really interesting, you can use this for traversing too if you want to. I have used it a couple times. I hit some targets and also traverse. So you can aim it on the floor or you can aim it in the sky. So it's up to you how you want to use it. I sometimes, like I said, I use it for traversing sometimes. When everyone's getting hit by everything, I activate that, hit some more enemies, but then I can get higher ground as well. As you hold your 3, you can go really far as well. So just keep this in mind. You can see how far you go in advance. You just have to be kind of quick of where you're going to go. Boom. So you're able to go travel really far. But if the enemy is really close, what you want to make sure you do is just make sure you're targeting the enemy and being in that vicinity. So let's go ahead and refresh and put this together. Now I'm going to show you with them clustered together a little bit. And it does have a knockback as well. So we're going to do with no conductor. We're going to go right to them. Boom. Now, just with that alone, I was able to give or take do about 6.5 million damage. So it's pretty solid damage you could do from this. Like I said, you can do more if you just scale your damage up a little bit more. But you want to make sure you kind of hit the target. Boom. Now, you're going to, at times, depending on how you hit, you're going to go through them. You're going to go past them a little bit. But as long as you're within the area because you have range and you built the range to be able to be better with piercing, just makes it so much easier and more forgiving for you guys. You could use it for target really close. You just have to aim towards the floor a little bit. So you can aim here and then boom, 6.5 mil. So it's up to you how you want to use it. Again, you can use it for traversing. You can do it for hitting targets. But normally your third ability is going to be used mostly for hitting a boss because that's where most of your damage is at. All right, now her other modification, her transmod, is called Plasma Ball. Like I was mentioning, I'm not sure if I like it as much, but what you end up doing is you get having this, you change your abilities altogether. What you get for this is as you scale your MP, you'll be able to scale your plasma orbs to take a little bit more damage to it. It also does go against with your HP as well. So you want to have good HP as well. That just allows it to stay out longer. And you also going to want more duration to be able to have those orbs up as much as possible. Now, from what I notice is if the orbs go away, not just for duration, but I'm taking so much damage that they go away, it doesn't start to come back until you stop taking damage. So I did notice that as well. I was doing a 400% trying to do it, and I noticed that I was waiting for a while for it to pop up. I walked away, not get hit, from any enemies, and then it started to pop up. So just keep that in mind. If you are taking damage, you will not get the orbs to pop up to protect you. But if you are having issues, maybe survivability wise, this will help you keep yourself up. Again, it takes away your critical hit rate, but you can just focus on your skill modifiers to be able to just do straight true damage. Is up to you. But let's go ahead and show you what that looks like. As you see here, I have 3 plasma orbs around me, and I have like a shield aura on myself. Now this is going to protect me from damage that I take, and as I take damage, the more and more damage I take, up to 1 or 3 of the orbs will go away. And when you have no orbs left, then you would take actual damage from the enemy. So when it comes to this, you want to keep that in mind. Now mine just went away because I had the time frame for a while on there. But if we were to give it a few more moments and fast forward, you're going to see the orb pop up because I had my duration set for a certain time frame. So you might want to set yourself for longer duration if you want to keep those orbs out for longer as well. It's just you have to scale towards that, and that's just not my playstyle. But if someone playstyle, they might like it. And as you see, boom, the orb does pop back up, and it does give you a shield. I kind of wish you can kind of see like their own values and their own health bar onto it. But as you see next to my name, you can see the buff that I have, the plasma ball, and that is about 25% right now. So you kind of tell when your orb is about to finish by that way. But if you're taking damage, you won't know, and you're just going to have all the damage taken away from you. This again, if you're having issues for surviving, this might be a really good idea for you. You just have to scale your HP, your MP, and your defense a little bit to be able to help out. And duration would definitely be really good for you as well. So you could use this. I had someone tell me that you could probably potentially use this when you are doing intercept battles. It's up to you if you want to go against, Devour and stuff like that, and you're having times where you're not killing a target fast enough and you need some survivability, then maybe potentially you can use this so that you keep her base kit somewhat besides a critical hit rate, but you keep her base kit, do some damage, get her conductor going, and then do some good damage with her third ability. You could keep that all together because that doesn't change. It's just her critical hit rate changes and the restorative nature of her MP. All right, and that is pretty much it. That is a quick look at Ines Raya and her kit, understanding her 2 Transcendent mods, and kind of building what you want specifically for yourself. Now, I am going to be going live soon in a little bit. After this video gets uploaded, I'm going to be going live soon a little bit. We're going to start focusing on some of the weapon unlocking core modules and also the purge a little bit. So we will be going live, and I will be using Ines Raya in those scenarios because I want to be able to play with her more and just fine tune it. Please leave your comments down below. Do you have her already? If you have her, how you've been using her? What do you like about her? What don't you like about her? What would you like to see improve, if anything at all? And all that great stuff. So thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. And I see you guys in the next video. Peace.